this comes from Yahoo Sports, and it's kind of interesting. So it's one move that each AFC team wishes it had back or will wish it had back in the future. For the Browns, they say the Deshaun Watson deal. From a strictly football standpoint, trade and compensation were outrageous, considering that Watson was never among the very top tier of NFL quarterbacks and hadn't played since 2 seasons prior. With that, let's welcome in Quincy Carrier from Untitled, Unfiltered Browns coverage. Quincy, it's kind of interesting. The narrative nationally is very different than the narrative locally. I don't think the Browns would have any hesitation making the same deal they made with Deshaun Watson.
You know, I would love to talk to this writer and ask him, what's your definition of top tier of NFL quarterback play? Because the last time Deshaun Watson played a full season, he had MVP votes. So if that's not top tier, then I don't know what is. And if we're going to, again, you cannot like Deshaun Watson, but we can't rewrite history just because you don't like the player, right? And that's what we're doing here. The idea that Deshaun Watson was never at the very top of the NFL, he was at that conversation with a young Patrick Mahomes before Joe Burrow entered the conversation. It's been 2 years. The gamble is he still somebody that's going to go up to that conversation? But acting as if, you just paid Kirk Cousins this money, which is what this article is basically trying to say. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and, again, a lot of people are nitpicking the year that he had because it was a 4-12 team. I've seen people saying, they were down all the time. Defenses, 5,000 yards is 5,000 yards. I mean, it's not like you get 80% of the yardage.
Well, I mean, and also, if we want to do this, okay, let's do this with Justin Herbert, too, right? Who hasn't had the winning success on the field that you would assume for a quarterback who gets talked about as one of the elite ones in the NFL. We're even trying to throw Trevor Lawrence in there after 6 good games this year. The idea that Deshaun Watson, it's crazy if the Browns even offered his money. It's revisionist history, and it's only it only works if you view things in such a vacuum that does not exist, because you can write it like that, but that's not how things happen with Deshaun Watson and the player that he was before this. Again, you could be critical of Deshaun, but let's not rewrite history in order to make your criticism sting a little bit more, because all that's going to do is make the people writing these articles look silly.